Closing bell 10 minutes away. On the eve of the Federal Reserve announcement, rate cut optimism was really fueling the Dow and the S&P. In fact, they both hit records earlier in the session. They are now both in the red. So we've lost all of those gains. Dow is down 57. The S&P is down 6. NASDAQ and Russell slightly in the green at the moment. But basically, we're looking at a very narrow trading range. Tomorrow, Fed Chair Jay Powell is widely expected to reveal a 25 basis point cut rate. But should the Fed make a bigger move? I mean, the market is betting that it will be a bigger 50 basis point cut. I want to bring in a Wall Street legend, the Omega Family Office Chairman and CEO, billionaire Leon Cooperman, here in a Fox Business exclusive. Leon, Wall Street's betting at least 60+% that it will be a 50 basis point cut.
What's the difference between 25 and 50? It don't make a difference.
Psychologically?
Stocks are long duration assets, so you take a longer bond discount. I think that the bigger question is, why is the 10-year bond yielding 3.65%? Because at 3.65%, there's nothing in the stock market that's overvalued other than the bond.
Well, can I just ask, I mean, what did you make of John Paulson just in that chair a minute ago saying that he believes that the Fed is behind the curve? I think you have felt that as well, correct?
Right, yeah.
So why would a 50 basis point cut be the same as 25 basis points? I mean, psychologically, the markets would view it in all kinds of ways, wouldn't it?
I think the stock market is not discounting present short rates. It's discounting much lower rates, as evidenced by the 10-year bond.
What move would you like to see made tomorrow?
Doesn't make a difference whether it's 25 or 50. It doesn't make a difference.
You're not selling all of your liquid stocks like John Paulson says if,
no.
if Harris becomes president.
I think stocks are going down next year no matter who wins. That's my view, but I could be dead wrong.
Is that just because you think the market is overbought?
I think the stock market is very fully valued, and we're facing some very serious issues. I think we're heading to a potential financial crisis as a result of the enormous buildup of debt in this country, and neither candidate is addressing that. They're both running ahead of each other, trying to, increase expenditures, and neither one of them are focused on reducing our debt level or reducing the level of the deficit.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because it didn't come up in the debate. It has not come up at all.
No.
And we are looking at $1 trillion+ to just pay down the interest on an annual basis of the debt. You're not even paying down the actual debt. It's just paying off the interest. How do you envision this eventually somehow exploding in the world's face?
We have a system of government that has evolved. It's called leadership at a crisis. I had tears flowing down my cheeks recently when I saw Reagan, the movie. Basically, we just don't have any leadership in the country today.
Like we did with Reagan?
Yeah. We don't have principled people in charge, and that's my view. And I could be dead wrong. The deficit is not a timing device, but I think that the debt in the country was, I think, $20 trillion in 2017. It's now 35 trillion, going up at the rate of $2 trillion a year. That's a growth rate far in excess of the growth rate of the economy, and ultimately we're going to have a crisis over it, or the debt doesn't matter. I remember, my partner at Goldman Sachs was Joe Fowler, Henry Fowler, former Secretary of the Treasury. Yeah. And he was big buddies with Pete Peterson. They used to run full-page ads in the Journal and the Times in 1972, alerting the public to the evils of the budget deficit and the trade deficit. Here we are with much higher numbers than anyone ever imagined, and we have the lowest interest rates in the history of the world.
Well,
so who
Bill
knows?
Clinton was the only president who ran a surplus, at least in the past couple of decades, and that becomes the question about how people will feel it, because they don't right now. I mean, we believe that this is a problem. You just heard that John Paulson said the market will crash if Kamala Harris is elected. But which side do you come down on, knowing that Donald Trump wants to impose tariffs, et cetera, which could also be an issue?
In 2016, I did not vote for Clinton or Trump.
For Hillary or Trump?
I wrote in Mitt Romney. 2020, I voted for Biden. I would not vote for Biden or Harris again. I read the Democratic platform, which is 80 pages long. I read the Republican platform, which is 22 pages long. I'm more aligned to the Republican platform, but not the candidate. So I'm more Republican in my thinking. but I don't intend to vote for Trump or Harris.
So a write-in, who?
Maybe I'll write you in. You're interested?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I know. I would be the worst. But it sounds like you really connected with Ronald Reagan and felt he
I did. Well, he was a centrist, and I'm a centrist in my nature.
I think most of the country is, don't you, Leon?
I think so. Call me Lee if you like. Yes. I think that, look, I respect Donald Trump's economic ideas. They're far superior to, Kamala Harris's economic ideas. But his deportment turns me off. And when he ran for president, he mimicked the New York Times report with cerebral palsy. You don't do that you don't make fun of handicapped people. Secondly, John McCain was a true war hero. He dissed John McCain. Number three, he made fun of Nikki Haley's husband, who's serving with honor in the Middle East. And then he said all the guys that were buried in Europe over World War II were suckers because they gave up their lives. You don't talk that way as president.
It feels like you are not just voting your pocketbook here, then.
No, my pocketbook, I suspect that Donald Trump would be better for my pocketbook. No question about it.
I see you're wearing the American flag with the Israeli flag.
Right.
We just broke in with news about nobody knows yet who blew up these pagers in a coordinated.
I hope Israel did.
But wouldn't that just make things even worse? I mean, Hezbollah is already saying,
I don't know. Look, I think it's a joke that the United States is trying to tell Israel how to conduct themselves. If somebody told the United States how to conduct themselves after we were invaded in Pearl Harbor, we would have laughed at them. They had 1,200 of their citizens murdered, slaughtered in the most unmerciful manner ever. Okay, they're the only reliable ally we have in the Middle East. They're the only democracy in the Middle East. They're our friend. They're our ally. They have similar values to us. We should be supporting them, not with the half-assed manner that we are, but full out. I couldn't believe it. I have no involvement in Israeli politics. I have no opinion on Netanyahu. All I know is his speech to Congress was brilliant, and I thought. And then Nancy Pelosi says it was the worst speech any foreign official ever made to U.S. Congress.
Columbia, you are an alum of the Columbia Business School.
Yeah, well, I get a lot of publicity for cutting them off, and the truth of the matter is I spoke with them, and the truth of the matter is I've given most of my money to them, Columbia, already. And what I told them was, most of these schools, the universities take a tax from the various, schools that are part of the university. I told them now 100% of my money must stay within the business school, and I'll continue to give.
But you did not like what was happening with the protests,
No.
the pro-Palestinian protests.
Yeah, well, I told the president of
Who has stepped down, / been fired, pushed out.
Pushed out. Well, I told her when she called me, I said, listen, you have an easy job. Why don't you just come out and say, the professor that praised Hamas does not speak for the university. We happen to totally disagree with him. If we could, we'd fire him, but we can't because he has tenure. There's no room for hate speech of any kind against any group.
And she wouldn't do it?
Apparently not. They equivocated, and that's wrong.
We have about a minute left. Let's end on an up note here. Your favorite stock right now that you are not selling no matter who wins?
Well, I'm not selling anything no matter who wins, because I own a lot of value situations. My favorite idea, I happen to be very negative on bonds, but by coincidence, my favorite idea is very complicated. It's called Legato First Lien Bonds. That's my biggest position. My second biggest position is with a company called Base Point, which is paying me about 14.5% on bonds, the lesser quality bonds, but they've done a great job for me. I really highly recommend them. And my third position is I have about a 15% exposure to energy. Given what's going on in the Middle East, I would think oil stocks ought to do better. So I have Paramount Resources, Tourmaline Resources, 2 Canadian oil and gas companies that I have large positions in.
Lee, you're one of a kind. We are so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much.
Nice to be with you, and I hope that everything turns out well, and I turn out to be wrong.
Listen, this is America. We always make it through, right?
Yeah, well, Warren Buffett says nobody ever got rich being short America, but I basically think that we have a 23 times earnings. We're fully valued given all the uncertainties that exist.
Lee Cooperman, wonderful to have you.